Hey, this is Shuzi. Today I want to share with you my planning process for another painting. And this time I really wanted to paint the back view of a sexy girl. So I started the sketch like this, just to put my idea on the paper. In this one, her panty looks very stretched out, so I made it a bit more realistic on the second layer so she looks a little bit more comfortable. Also, I lowered the camera angle, so we're looking at her from somewhere slightly lower than her butt level, so now the focus is on her butt. Then I started to think about her clothes, well, lingerie. I added something really basic, really plain, but I didn't like it, so I removed the bra. I think this looks so much better because I want the attention to be on her butt. Then on the next layer, I did some small tweaks to make her butt plumper. This is much better, right? I really wanted to showcase her body, so I changed the composition to vertical, so her body takes up most of the canvas area. Now in the next layer, I added her hair to show the figure is in motion to make it more dynamic, and then I think this one is ready to go. So I printed out her on a piece of printer paper. This one is not the right size. The actual painting, I want it to be much larger than this. But I'm gonna use this, before I transfer this to the watercolor paper, I'm gonna use this as a reference so that I can sketch on my sketchbook to test out the colors and composition. So I'm back using this sketchbook. I really can't think of any other use for this one because, the paper is really too smooth for my taste. The only way I can use this is to test out some thumbnails on a very small scale as a preparation for my painting. I'm going to draw her really small so I don't get into too much details. Alright, now that I have the sketch, I can start painting. Just getting rid of some of the pencil lines so it looks better. Going to use this toilet paper as a stand so it's more comfortable and I can see it straight on from this angle like this. First of all, a quick skin color. I think I want it to look like she just got up in the morning and she's getting dressed and she's getting ready. So the sunlight can be coming from here. It's not super bright sunlight, it's like the morning sun. So I'm going to have her back in shadow and her front will be under the sun. And for this one, I really wanted to try to put some cooler tone in here, so I'll try to use some blue on her body to see if that works. Something like this. So the back side of her is more in the shadow, that is cooler. And I'm going to have some purple, some blues, mostly blue. Usually I don't use too much blue. I'm always afraid of making it too realistic, but that's what I wanted to try to do, to see if I can use some blue but also maintain the anime illustration kind of aesthetic. The front is easy, it's just like my usual skin color, which is a light orange, and I'm gonna add some red where I want to accentuate the thinness or how delicate the skin is. Maybe a little bit more shading on her face to show that this side is under the shadow. Yeah, that might be a little bit too red, but it's a testing, so that's okay. Ooh, too much orange. The color now is a little bit too strong, but that's good because watercolor usually dry much paler. A lot of us tend to put too light of a first wash in there. I was totally like that when I was starting the watercolor painting because I was just afraid of putting all these colors on there. And because watercolor dries pretty quickly, and you're like, oh crap, I put so much of the orange here. Is it gonna ruin everything? It is if you put too little water in there and it dries and got fixated on the paper. But if you have enough color, that means the paint stay fluid on the paper and then you still have time to work on it, to move it around, just like what I'm doing right now here. It looks pretty scary, but see, look at this. You can still push the paint around and it will still come off. And when it dries, it's gonna be paler and it might be the strength actually you're looking for. So I always try to remind myself to put strong enough of a color on the first wash. It's gonna make the painting of future layers much easier and more interesting as well. Because if you put it on layer by layer, the interaction between the paints wouldn't be as interesting. There wouldn't be as much interaction between the different colors of paints. And it looks too tight, too detailed. Okay. Oops, this part I forgot and then it's dried already, but that's okay. It's for testing anyways. And I want to add some red where the shadow starts to make her skin color more lively. I don't like this heart line here, so I'm gonna remove that. Okay. And I want to really accentuate this, her spine, this curl. I shouldn't be using that color. Okay, I just want it to be a bit darker, and I also want this arm to be darker. This edge here, and because she's curling like this, okay. And just to sculpt the shape of her butt. See, this is the problem. This paper, I can't do wet and wet too much. It's just the color just being pushed around. And these orange is too bright. As I was talking, I forgot to touch it and move it around. Also, her shoulder blade is going backward, so I wanted to kind of show that motion as well by adding some shadow. But this is really small and I really shouldn't go adding this much of detail. It just defeats the purpose of me drawing it this small to work on the composition and the color. So I'm gonna stop right here and start working on the hair and the background. So for the background, I'm thinking for the left hand side is darker, like maybe like this. What would be the color for a morning bedroom? I don't know, some blue? This might not be dark enough, so I'm gonna add more color to this. For this side, okay, so her hair, I'm not too worried. I'm thinking her hair should be purple. So when this dries a bit, I'm gonna put some purple on the top to see what that looks like. So because it's both blue, it can connect to her body, and this side of her body doesn't need to have too much detail. It can just melt into the background. So it looks like it's farther away, and that's not the center of the attention anyway. For the front side, I'm thinking maybe, like I guess one connection I'm making, like for morning would be maybe there's some curtains got blown up, like so. I don't know, I didn't look up how to paint curtains, but if I decide to do curtains, I guess I would look it up. Okay, so some curtain being blown up in the background. That's the fold of the curtains. Need some strong color here. Ooh. That's way too strong. Wow. The curtain shouldn't be this strong, so we'll see. That's okay. Okay, does it look like curtain to you? Probably not. What a mess. Gonna fix it later. But that gives me the idea of a curtain. Right in her face. Okay, so that's it for the curtain. So I'm gonna go back to her hair. I'm grabbing some purplish color. I don't even remember what this color is. Okay, this one is more purple, bluish purple. Okay, that's what I want. So her hair goes like so, because she's looking up, so we don't see too much of the top of her head. So the hair gets blown backwards like this. Some will cover her body, like so. And a bunch of her hair will be from the back, blowing this way. Okay, shoulder. A bunch of her hair in the back will be going this way, so, but the front will go over her body, and these ones will be in the back. And maybe I'll put them more in a blue color, like here. Blue here, okay. I was really debating between a landscape or a vertical format for orientation for this painting, because I really like the idea of having a lot of space for me to paint the hair. I really enjoy painting the hair, and I really enjoy seeing the hair in motion. And I really enjoy painting hair with this brush. This brush is just so perfect for hair because of the pointy end. Okay, so the blue portion are her hair in the back, and the purple one are in the front, but maybe... Okay, so I want the hair to go around her body to go to the front. Okay, and she has some loose strand here. Some short strand here. Doesn't look very good. This curl doesn't look very good. Well, this paper, one good thing is pretty good for correction because the paint doesn't really grab onto the paper. Ooh. This piece is a bit stupid. Let's remove that. Ugh. Look at that. Her hair is like growing out a little bush. That's not good. This is so stupid. The paint keep running upward. That would be an interesting hairstyle. Okay, so now the paint is like half dry, and I'm using a clean brush with just some water to do some lifting. So the paint gets pushed away with the water on my brush, some got lifted up, so this is basically me doing a lifting to get some definition of the strands. I think this part is too harsh, so I'm trying to fix that. Okay, so now I want to strengthen the part in front of her. I really like the feeling of her hair wrapping around her. Not only you get some in the back, but you also get some in the front. But now this part is too wet, so even if I paint in front of her, I won't get a nice definition. So I'm going to add that later once everything dries. I can add a little bit more definition here to her butt to, separate the cheeks, make it look rounder. Also, I'm adding some shadow under here so you can separate her arm from her body. And I'm going to add some blue background over here so you can see her body more clearly. Oops, did it too quickly. Now it's all dirty. Okay, gonna need to darken her skin a bit. It's not dark enough, and I think I washed off most of the blue, so I'm gonna add a bit more blue here. Ooh, this doesn't look good. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's more obviously that's a shadow, but it looks like for shadow colors, I can't just put blue. I still need to add some more orange in here, so it looks like a skin in the shadow, not just, I don't know, bruised or like a zombie without skin, without blood color. Okay, that's a bit better. And I need to do the same thing for her face, this part. Okay. Now I think I can add her eyes. I might just use a pencil. I'm going to cheat and just use a pencil for this. No, actually, I'm going to use black ballpoint pen. Well, only if it works. Okay. So I'm just gonna draw her eye here. So small. But I know it's for my own benefit, because if it's too big, I'm gonna put in too much detail there. And that's not the purpose of this one. All right. So I got her face. Her face is too pale. Should I put more skin color here? Good thing is the ballpoint pen won't, it's oil based, it won't melt in the water, so I can just paint over it. Okay, that's a little bit better. And I just need to darken the hair once it dries. Okay, I want a little bit more definition for her hand. That's too red. A bit more definition here. Okay, so that's the definition of her cheeks. Some color to darken here to show the roundness of her cheeks. Wow. Not the best application, but you get the idea. Okay, so I think this is dry. I'm going to add some purple just to strengthen the hair. I think I can have some more dark here. Actually, this side should all be in dark, so it looks like it's in shadow. And here, okay, I think I used a different purple. Okay, anyway, this strand might be a little bit too thick, but it's obviously on this side of her body, in front of her body. Yep, that's a good separation. Gonna keep it like that. I think I need a little bit more definition of the crown here to show how her hair flows. Okay, so What else? I can make her face pop more by adding a little bit more hair here as a background to frame her face. Yeah, now her face is easier to see. Yeah, it's a bit better this way. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in the real painting. Oh, and the curtain, I can add a little bit more definition here. Does it look like a curtain to you? Would you be able to tell this is a curtain? Looks too uniform. Don't like it. Okay, one last thing is her panty. Wasn't going to do the panty here, but just for the completeness, I guess I should, because I didn't really paint the folds, the skin folds here, and how this part of the skin got squeezed out because she's yanking on her panty. But just to have the thong here so that we can see what it looks like. That's nice. I like black underwear. Black underwear or bikini always look good on a painting, on an anime girl. And because I wanted to do some chain here, some chain that comes with the panty here, so putting some yellow here, this side like this. Yellow is not very good, so I have this gold metallic color, metallic paint, so I'm gonna try to use this gold color here. This one takes quite a bit of time to wet, so I really have to be, if it's not wet enough, then you're not picking up enough of the really fine powdered metallic paint. You're not picking up enough. So I'm trying to melt it into a paste so that I can pick it up and put it on the painting. Okay, so I think I got a bunch. Not sure how well it will show. I think it will show better if I have a darker background, but this background here is a bit too light. Okay, so I'll have some on this side and have some on this side. I think adding some gold to this painting really make it pop. And I always wanted to look for ways to use the metallic paint. Let's see if I can add some purple to her hair. Add it to here because this part is really dark. Well, actually, this paint is pretty dark too, so it didn't really do much. I think what I'm looking for could be this pearlescent paint. I actually used quite a bit of this one. There's a hole, but this also shows me how thin this paint is. It's just basically you get a little thin patty, and once you make a hole here, and that's basically it's like I don't know, 3 millimeter thick. So there's actually not much paint in here. Okay, that looks a bit better. Ooh. Don't know if you can see the reflection. It looks really shiny under the light when you get the right angle. Okay, put a bit in her eye. That didn't do much. Okay, put a bit here. Now I'm just trying to use up whatever paint I have on my brush so I don't waste it. It doesn't necessarily make it look better, but I just want to put it down just to play with it and see what it looks like. Okay, I think I overdid it. Okay, so I think this is it for this thumbnail. Okay, so for this thumbnail, I think this is it. I tried everything that I wanted to try, but I don't really like the curtain. And especially if I want to do a vertical portrait orientation of the painting, then I really don't see much of the curtain. So should I try a vertical composition, or should I change the painting into a horizontal one? But I'm not quite satisfied with this curtain anyway, so let me try another one down here. First of all, I need to change the water. Fresh water, yay. Okay, so I'm going to sketch quickly another one down here. Alright, so I quickly drew another sketch, so let's test this one out. Instead of having the curtain in the background, what I'm thinking is to have some just some watercolor pattern in the background instead. So same process, putting on a really light wash of her skin. I think this one looks a little bit too dark. So overall, I think for this one, I want it to be a little bit lighter. Everything a little bit lighter and dreamier, not too heavy. So we'll try to see if I can put in some blue and purple as the shadow, just to make it more interesting. Okay, I think this is better. Just need to move really quickly so the paint doesn't dry on her. Although some part already dry, like here on her face. I always have the tendency to paint her face too light. Always have to remind myself to be bold when I paint her face. Okay. The color looks so much more even when you do a wash very quickly while the paint is still wet. I'm quite happy with this wash. Although this might dry out, this might dry really pale. But at least it looks pretty good for now. Some shading here to indicate a shadow on her palm. Yeah, this wash looks so even, I don't even want to touch it because I'm risking leaving watermarks. But I do want to add something to indicate her spine, the shadow in her spine, and also her other arm is behind her body, so I'm putting some shadow here. But otherwise, I think this is pretty much what I'm looking for to put her in shadow. All right, now the background. So for this background, I want to use some pink and purple to make it look dreamier. What I love about watercolor is I can really use the texture to create interesting background instead of putting something solid in the background. So something like, oh, I have to have a bed or a room with furnished room or whatever in the background. I can just have these interesting patterns and it looks so much more painterly. Okay. So I want the pattern to flow like this because her hair will go up this way. So look at the paint run. I just let it run this way. Oops, that's a little bit too dark. I'm gonna add some water to break it up. So I think these kind of background is so much more interesting. Add some pink. Pink and purple combination is one of my favorite combinations. You can never go wrong with that. Alright, that should do it for the background. I'm gonna let it dry a bit before I put on the hair. Okay, now it's dry and we can add the hair, but it does look a little bit more paler than when it was wet. This one wasn't too strong. The color wasn't too intense or too strong to start with, so I'm okay with that. This is only for testing out the concept. I could darken the skin here and there. You know what, maybe I should do that first. And maybe I could just, without painting the hair over her body, I could paint some hair and then add some more skin tone to certain places. Maybe her hair can be blue. Okay, still go this way. Okay, not here. I don't want to cover the pretty watercolor pattern, so, but I think I already did. I'm gonna keep the blue really faint, so it just looks like the hair not in focus. Maybe I need to break up the strands a bit. It looks like, oops, it looks like too defined right now and then too concentrated in one place. While it's wet, I'm going to paint wet and wet with slightly stronger blue, but not too pure of a blue. I added some purple in there just to add some stronger strokes here so it doesn't look like a huge lump going behind her. But I did cover up quite a bit of the pink, which is not good. This sucks. I guess I have to, well, if I go with this one in the real painting, I have to be careful not to cover up too much of the background, or I should make the background a little bit stronger. All right. Now to darken some of the skin tone. Maybe just to create some definitions here and there. Shadows her spine and the shoulder blade. I'm just putting on some pretty wet paint on, so I get the open time to work with it, and then I'm going in with the clean brush to soften the edges if I need to. some definitions on here as well. I still think this is not strong enough. I need to make it even stronger, but it's kind of difficult to make something strong but also not as liquidy using the pan color. That's why I much prefer the tube colors. Pan color is almost telling me to go in layers because it's very hard to get strong colors in one shot. Yeah, so I'm mixing up some strong skin color here just to put it on where I want to show a structure of the body, show a shape of the body. So here I want to show the roundness of the breast. So I'm treating it like a sphere. I'm using some dark red mixed with the orange. It's hard to make a thicker paint with pan color because you have to mix it with water to activate the paint. And once you mix it with water, your paint gets diluted. So I much prefer to use tube color. But this does give you a different look, right? So look at the hard edges I have here. My tendency is always to soften the edges, and I'm not bold enough to leave those hard edges here and there. But I know some artists use these hard edges, and if it's really pretty, it forms an interesting pattern on even a figure, right? A figure doesn't have to be all smooth like what I'm doing here. Like if you're bold enough to leave those patterns, those watermarks, I think these really add interest to the final painting. So here, like I'm smoothing it out again, but I don't need to. Oops, that's a bit too red. And the color is a different, I think I used the wrong red here. So it looks a bit too purple. Anyway, that's not a problem. Also, I can do a little bit more definition on this side. Right, now the body looks more solid. It looks more three-dimensional. I know I'm going into too much detail again, but I just want to add some shadow to her eye socket and also to her nose. All right. Maybe some definition for her hand as well, because I didn't do a good job in the first wash. Okay, so this is showing clearly her palm is away from the sun under the shadow. Also, I want to strengthen the background over here so it kind of gives you show you the edge of her body more clearly. All right. Now I can try, oh, this is still a bit dry, still a bit wet here. Now I can try to add her hair. So this time I'm gonna do a bluish purple. So I want to have some loose strand over here. So have some strands towards us, this side. And the back still go up this way. I want to make sure this piece connects with this piece. I think this is still too dark. And I also need to break it apart a bit. Why not just go straight up? We don't have that much space anyway, but it doesn't look right. I shouldn't have go up like that. I hope I'm not too soft because I started to lower my voice and mumbling to myself when I'm really thinking about what to do. Okay, so that's a bit better. So she has her hair go up this way, and she also has some strands on this side. She also has some loose strand over here, like the one on the top. I think I'm definitely gonna keep those ones because this will frame her face. Doesn't need to be too defined. I actually don't like how this hair curls, but I'm trying to make it work. Maybe I can twist it a bit so it's like it's facing us. Yeah, that's better, but this strand I don't like it going here, so it probably should start from here. So this piece goes back and curls back like this. So I'm gonna try to erase this one. But I don't think I should even have this piece. This one's a little bit bigger, so I can put in some eye color for her. Her body shadow is still not strong enough, so I'm going to add a little bit here, just to define the shape of her butt. Also want to accentuate the skin fold here. Upper body, not dark enough either, so I think because I was wiping away the hair, I got rid of some of the skin color as well. So I'm going to use the ballpoint pen again just to speed up the process, give a definition of her eyes. So it's just easier to see. All right, last step is to put on her thong. Oops, it's a bit wet here, so This looks so ugly. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm too impatient. What happened? Oh my god, this looks so dirty. Okay, I'm going to smooth it out and pretend it's just a shadow. Okay, I have to let it dry again and then come back to put on the panty. But I guess since I already have this strands of the hair here, I have to put it on. And I'm going to put on some thicker color here so it's in the front. But while this painting, for now, I don't know, still look a little bit too one-dimensional to me. I think the problem is the skin color. I couldn't get it strong enough. I'm gonna definitely fix it in the real painting. I think it's much easier to do on the real, well, not the real, the full cotton, cold press, or rough watercolor paper than doing it on here. One thing I can do though is to add some highlights. Alright, my trusted poster color. So without squeezing it out, I'm just gonna pick up some really thick paint here and then put it on here. Okay. It's a little bit better. Okay, put some highlights in her eyes. Wow, I was using the black ballpoint pen, but look at how gray it is. It's just not dark enough. It's not even as strong as the blue. Add some hair strands, and here some highlights for the reflection. Oops, the paint is too thick. Too thick. It's okay. I'll just leave it. And I'm gonna add some highlights on this one that goes in front of her body. Okay. Whenever you dilute the poster color or gouache, it won't be as white. So that's why I prefer to just grab the really thick paint from the tube, so I can get the full strength of it. Fixing the shape of the boob, make it rounder. And I really want to make the eye a little bit darker, so picked up some black paint, put it in there. Alright, I think this part is dry. It dries pretty quickly, this paper. Okay, so now I can put on her panty. So the thong is pretty much, you know, what a thong should be like in her cheeks. And yeah, and then I'm going to have some dangling bits here, just some decorations. And this side I have some as well. Flying up maybe. Okay, I put it on in black, but that's just because I want some dark color as the base for the metallic paint. It just shows better on a darker background. So now I can put in the metallic color here. Shows a bit better. I guess I could have the dark background even thicker. Well, I won't do this in the real painting. In the real painting, I think I'm gonna be a little bit more careful and then put in like maybe, I don't know, gold chains or gold beads. I don't know. This is so pretty. Now I have these. Okay, maybe I should add this to the bracelet. I forgot about that. Okay. Now I'm trying to use up the paint on my brush again and trying to put it everywhere. So maybe she can have a dangly earring. That looks a little bit too big. Oh well, I should stop myself from randomly putting on paints just to use it up. Alright, I'm done with the thumbnail sketch for planning out this big painting. I have one landscape version and one portrait version, and this one has a softer color palette, and this one has some solid background and darker background in the back and has some curtain. I'm really debating which one to go with, but I'm kind of leaning towards to this one. What do you think? Let me know in the comment below, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye.